Travis Wingezel. So, I'm now into Star Trek New Generations, the porn series. It's like every episode has to deal with sexuality. You know, the Betazoids, the episode I just finished, where Deanna Troy's forced to marry some guy she doesn't know, and they have to be naked at the wedding along with everybody. Everybody goes naked. And yeah, I've seen it before. She eventually marries Riker, and yeah, it's all nude. Captain Picard goes nude. And then the Ferengis. It's abominable to cover up and hide your women's bodies. And the planet of free sex. Oh, dear God. But yeah, Deanna Troi got very jealous when her mother was hitting on Riker. He's mine, mother! Oh, dear God. So, yeah. Mormons, by taking the Book of Mormon literally, do not understand that they've been conned, just like the creation of Christianity, in which Roman Emperor Constantine replaced the Jews, turning the Jewish prophecies and revelations into literal history. And despite any intelligent being recognizing that there are numerous problems, nonetheless, over 4 billion to this day are still fooled by Roman Emperor Constantine's little con. The biggest con in the world's history. Because of 1,700 years it's been perpetuated. And yes, abuse of women was the result of the creation of Christianity. This is why the Church of Jesus Christ is abusing women. And women are still fooled into falling for this abuse. Being blinded from using their intelligence to liken the scriptures, which means seeing what the scriptures say and then finding its match in our current situation. And too often Mormons make the wrong match that isn't a match. Oh yes, we're just like the Nephite religion. Just like it. Not those Zoramites. Not the Lamanites. Not King Noah. Not the great and abominable church. And that's sad. And so, 3rd Nephi 27, verse 8. Well, 7. Mormons, of course, see this as literal history, that Jesus actually appeared to the Nephites and said, "Here I am. I'm fulfilling the prophecy of the latter days of the Jewish Christ. I'm Jesus, not Emmanuel. Here I am. It's here, the latter days. The signs in the heavens as given by John the Revelator. There's no need for a latter days. Church has been restored. Here I am." Everybody misses that part. Why does Jesus come to the Nephites when the Nephites have not gone apostate? There have been apostate groups that have branched out, gone over to the Lamanites. Jesus doesn't go to the Lamanites. He only goes to those who believe in him. Nobody catches on to that. And so, actually, we can go back to verse 5. Have you not read the scriptures, Mormons? No, you haven't, have you? Which say you must take upon you the name of Christ. What's his name? You don't know, do you? Because it's not Jesus, which is my name. For by this name ye shall be called at the last day. Did you know facsimile number 2 has the name? It's there. It's also in facsimile number 3. It's there too. And technically it would be in facsimile number 1, but they don't have the text. But if you know that the hieroglyphs that compose that glyphic combo picture, you would know that the name of Christ is there too. Teaser. Tease me. Please me. I want to hear that song now. That could work in the theme song in the description below. So we'll put it on here. Please me. Therefore, whatsoever ye shall do it in my name. Therefore, ye shall call the church in my name. And the ancients did. The Egyptians. And ye shall call upon the Father, who has the same name as the Son, in my name, that he will bless the church for my sake. Why isn't he saying Jesus here? What's going on? There's the cross. Howbeit my church, save it be called in my name. See, Nelson brought this up at conference to tell you, we're not Joseph's church. The Book of Mormon has been replaced. We're evil. I'm the Antichrist. Worship me. Obey me. Wear your underwear. For if a church be called in Moses' name, then it be Moses' church. That's half of the name. Anybody see that? I made it just for you guys in the past week. I think I posted, this one got posted on Academia. The Esau one did not get posted on Academia. So that's just a YouTube exclusive for you. Or if it be called in the name of a man, then it be the church of a man. But if it be called in my name, then it is my church. So what did Joseph Smith call the name of his church on 6 April 1830? The Church of Christ. He didn't give a name. So, 1834, I learned from the Joseph Smith papers that there was a priesthood meeting, and Sidney Rigdon raised his hand in the minutes and said, I propose that we change the name of the church to the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Mormons are Christ? Oh wait, yeah, we take upon ourselves the name of Christ, don't we? And in the initiatories, even though the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints changes that whole concept because we don't actually take upon ourselves the name. We represent the name instead. Even though the text needs to be reworded to say that, if that's what you mean, rather than keeping the original from Joseph Smith, which comes from the Book of Mormon. Yeah, you become Christ when you're anointed, because that's what Christ means, anointed. Church does not want you to have the title of Christ. But here's the catch, and Mormons miss this catch. They're not able to make the matching connection with this catch. If it so be, so you can have the correct name of the church, but as long as it is built upon my gospel. So, Christian? No, that's the Great and Abominable Church, Mormons. This is what you're not getting. What is the gospel of Lucifer? What are the doctrines? What is the theology? What is the scriptural understanding and interpretation? What is the administration? What is the ritual of Lucifer? You need to know it, because you don't want to be fooled and deceived into being a part of it and not realizing that you're actually in it. That would make you stupid. Everybody would laugh at you. Oh, look at those who were involved in that death cult and they didn't even know it because they didn't bother to read. Yeah. See, what I'm doing is trying to warn you and save your lives, and you get offended calling me condescending and mocking and scorning you and condemning you and judging you, not allowing your agency to worship Lucifer, your Lord and Master. Dumb. So yeah, there's a big difference between the gospel of Lucifer and the gospel of Emmanuel. Jewish, which is pre-Babylonian captivity Egyptian, not Orthodox Judaism of today. Because they too got punked by Constantine. So the whole biblical Hebrew text needs to be scrapped. Go back to the original script and retranslate it correctly. But it requires somebody who deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. You know, a real prophet, seer, revelator, and translator. Somebody who's accomplished the titles, not somebody who self-proclaims to be the titles. Right, Nelson? Oaks, Irene, and all the 15 other, or the 12 others of you. And Mormons don't see it. Oh, they're calling themselves prophets, seers, and revelators. We've got it just like the gospel says. Church is true. No. You missed the point because you missed the point here in the Book of Mormon, 3 Nephi 27, verse 8. Because you will not be heard by idol statue god Jesus. It has to be the real Christ. And he's not prophesied to come until the latter days. Oh no, when's the latter days, Latter-day Saints? Oh, whoops, you missed it. Came and went. We're now in the millennium. Don't you feel peace, safety, and refuge here in Utah? Yeah, you're not going to see the results of the true church. You have to create them in your head. Fantasy. To say that, oh, Nelson got up and spoke for conference. The church is true. The works of the church is true. All the church news said they gave more aid to Africa. Why can't they pull themselves up by their own bootstraps so that the church doesn't have to give charity to them all the time? Not racist since 1978. Look beyond the mark when you turn it into literal history. So, let's see how many of these papers I can throw away. Agency. It is not the false dichotomy. Choose to obey or be punished. Doctrine and Covenants 58, 26 to 30. That's Joseph Smith's. Life, liberty, property. You need to have it, and you need to give it to others. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You want them to give you rights to life, liberty, and property. You need to give them life, liberty, and property. So for religious freedom, you want to be a part of Lucifer's church, your Lord and Master? Well, you need to let others be a part of Lucifer's church, Lord and Master, and force them into Lucifer's. No. And you should have caught on. When the church is demanding that the United States add religious freedom, which the church has exposed as we're exempt from giving religious freedom. We want it, you can't have it. You know that there's something wrong with that. But Mormons go, oh, it's Jesus. He's the one telling the prophets to do this. We got to do it for Jesus. I need to murder you because Jesus needs his kingdom back. We need to overthrow the government so Jesus can get his kingdom back. Okay, we need to keep this one because I still need to make the chart. It's what Constantine did to Christianity, or to what Constantine did to the Jews, and so I need to redo the chart for that thing, and then what Brigham Young did to Joseph Smith. So can't get rid of that one. And I've already done that every Christian Jesus failed to show for their Armageddon Day. 1838 Mormon Missouri State War. That's just another repeat of what the Danites did, cooing Joseph Smith's church. And the section 123, verse 7, yeah, that's Joseph Smith in Liberty Jail because of the Danites cooing his church and explaining how Christianity is the great and abominable church that cooed his church. Undies. Oh, right. That was a picture. Yeah. Yep. And with what the Mormons did in Arizona, and Mormon aren't leaving and burning their underwear in protest, dear God, there is something seriously wrong with Mormon women. Maybe that's why I had 2 failed marriages. Secret Mormon Death Cult. Yeah, I've done that. That's the thumbnail or the picture that I use at the beginning of every videos for each new day of the millennial kingdom of Zion. Jesus underpants. Jesus Christ underpants. So it wasn't Joseph and his amazing Technicolor dream coat. It's Jesus and his amazing Technicolor underwear. Can we get Donny Osmond, to come out of retirement to do that one? A revision of Jesus Christ Superstar. But yeah, you guys aren't even paying attention to what the covenants are. You're not listening. You hear it, you're there, you're sleeping during it. And you only wake up when you have to raise your arm to the square and say, and bow your head and say, yes. And then Nelson botching the Kirtland Temple. Is going to go into more detail on that one. Because 1 Kings 19:16 is the guy that everybody screws up on. It's Elishua. In the Bible, it's spelled Elisha rather than Elishua, but the spelling in Hebrew is Elishua, and thus why everybody misses it, because they don't know Hebrew. But it's the same character that was parting the the Jordan River and getting mantles and stuff like that. So that's the Kirtland Temple, Elias. Armageddon 1 as a type and shadow for Armageddon 2. I've done that numerous times for you. King David Moses the First goes in to the Valley of Megiddo to do battle with the Hittites who are encroaching on Egyptian territory. And he pushes them back and then expands the empire to the Euphrates. But during the midst of Armageddon 1, he goes to the little hamlet, hillside, or hilltop, top of the mountain community of Salem, which means peace, and goes on vacation. And then afterwards, we know from the archaeological evidence that the first temple there in Jerusalem was built with a palace for the king. And so Solomon is king. The N is a suffix determinative of peace. Salem. The child between David Moses the First and the woman of the leader of the hamlet, the daughter of the hamlet leader, produces, and yes, Uriah with Bathsheba. Uriah wants to go and fight against the Hittites and die in battle to cover up the adultery of King David and Bathsheba. So then that other author is talking about that versus what actually happened from the historical documents. So it's all about the latter days. They're not giving you literal history because there was no King David or King Solomon or Bathsheba. So yeah, all of that is the same. Zoramite supersessionism, I've done that one for you. So the Zoramites, they're apostate, anti-Mormon, antichrist whores who leave Zarahemla, want nothing to do with their religion. They now are replacing the religion with their religion. They're now the chosen people. And their God is the Great Spirit, just like the Lamanites pulled that stunt too. Same concept. It's Christian. And so, yes, the Zoramites, they build themselves a Jewish synagogue with their replacement theology, supersessionism. You're supposed to catch on. Oh, Christianity is bad. Got it. So that's why I informed Child Faith that he can continue to read the Book of Mormon to his kids. Just because it's not literal history, it is valuable with the teachings that it talks about. So he can read about the Zoramites and inform his children that Christianity is the great and abominable church. They replaced the Jews, and that's bad and mean. You don't replace other people's religion and tell them that they're wrong, and now that you're right and you're the chosen ones. You've usurped authority you do not have to usurp. This was supposed to be a pre-conference video. Prophets to confess Jewish Christ Emmanuel at General Conference. Uchtdorf, I wanted I have his talk. I brought it over. His Bearers of Light to the Aaronic Priesthood in 2017. Make that little clip. Alright. It looks like more clips here. LDS celebrate Mormon Jesus' birthday worshiping Lucifer. That was for April 6th. Notice nobody in conference mentioned it being Jesus' birthday. They talked about one person, talked about it being the restoration of the church. I think it was gone, wasn't it? Oh, dear God. Let's see. Psalm. Oh, this is for idol worship, is what this is. There's a psalm, and I'm not going to be able to remember which one. It's in the hundreds. That goes over and explains that any object is not real. And if you're going to be stupid enough to believe that an object has moral or spiritual powers for good or bad, then you're stupid, like the idol. And yet, the church has been on a frenzied, frothy campaign to follow Lucifer's doctrine in the temple that women must all be covered up and hidden. No betazoids or Ferengis allowed. That's Lucifer's doctrine. When this church, whatever the excuse they're trying to make to justify it, even with lies, oh, it's just like COVID, you're gonna die. It causes blindness. It'll destroy the family. Children are going to be harmed. Somebody think of the children. Yeah. That's Lucifer's doctrine. You've been fooled. If you go around demanding other people, Pornhub, remember? We are no longer allowing Pornhub in Utah because of Utah's extremist laws regarding sex ed, science, and art. That's all pornography is, guys. It's art. It uses video and picture graphics, art, to educate with sex and the human body of science, sexual reproduction. Betazoids. Ferengi. And you've fallen for it. The church demanding everybody conform and comply to their beliefs, which are harming Mormons, not the porn. The church is the harm, taking away agency and punishing for human behavior. We have to be attracted to others in order to perpetuate the human species. We'll all die out and go extinct, like the supposed group that got sick, who were an enemy threat to the planet that they were on with the Betazoid wedding and all that. But The guy had fantasized about a woman his whole life, and then there she was on the ship. That's just sick and wrong. The Egyptian language had human body parts in it for a reason. Count the number of peni in facsimile number 2. There's more than one. Hint, hint. It's to educate you. They taught little children this. They were not ashamed. Christianity caused the shame. Christianity made people feel guilty. Christianity made people punish other people for not following their belief systems. Like Nihor, the Spanish Inquisition. Hello? Burn the witch. And so, yeah, Benson, don't see movies that are pornographic. Evangelicals created pornography as a word. It's 2 Greek words, but they were never put together under the Greeks. It just magically appeared under evangelicalism. In the late 1800s and into the 1900s, after they lost the lawsuit to force everybody to believe in creatio ex nihilo in this public school system. They went on a full-on idol God-worshipping kick. This is what's right and this is what's wrong and everybody must obey. And then, yeah, the 80s is when the church got with evangelicals to seek to overthrow the government by pushing their religious beliefs on everybody else in the nation. And then it's a dichotomous battle, you know, I'm not going to get into that. It's just abominable. And yeah, the Salt Lake Temple Arch, I mean, seriously, Mormons redefine it. Doesn't exist, no, that's symbol of Jesus condescending to us. And I condescend to you and you complain. Because you're not Jesus. Only Jesus can condescend. And then each day of Passover, I did that video the other day. Yeah. Oh, but I didn't do it. Well, yeah, I did do the comparison between Moses and... Yeah, we did that. Okay. Pay attention. The prophecies are very clear, and the prophecies have all happened in the learning of the Jews, which means you can't use Christian interpretation, you're not going to see them. The Jewish prophecies and revelations have all happened to date. We are now waiting for the fall of the great and abominable church. Yeah, Mormons, you, and all of Christianity with it. Which means Islam. You're all Christian-based. And so not a surprise that Iran joined in the war against Israel. Because everybody thinks that it's literal history. That the war of the whole world against Israel is in Israel. And so that's why you have anti-Semitic President Biden, who sent me a letter this morning. We're on a one-to-one basis. And so, yeah. There is no temple in Jerusalem. There needs to be a temple in Jerusalem in order for the temple to be in jeopardy. In order for the Christ to appear. Only the Mormons have temples. Or the temple of Satan. So guess what, Mormons? It's you. And he's here. Your Christ is here. You just don't see him. Just like you don't see Jesus. You don't see either of them. And so you pick and choose who you want to feel. And so, yeah, when you're worshiping Lucifer, you're following Lucifer's plan. So Mormons, you're following Lucifer's plan. Guess who your Christ is? It doesn't matter what you name him. That's the scripture passage. The gospel you are following is the gospel of your Christ, and regardless of the name you call him. So if it's the gospel of Moses, but it's the plan of, or if it's the church of Moses, but it's the gospel of Lucifer, then you're calling Lucifer Moses. If it's the name of Jesus and it's the gospel of Lucifer, you're calling Jesus Lucifer, or Lucifer Jesus. That's what he means there. And Mormons just are clueless to make that connection. They think, well, it's Jesus, that's our Christ, and so whatever Jesus tells us to do, we do it. Oh, you want me to kill myself, Jesus? Okay. How shall I kill myself? What tools should I make? Just do it. Okay. Love you, Jesus. Can't wait to live with you. Since this applies to the pornography next generations, after Rome destroyed the Jerusalem temple, destroyed the Jews, thus the prophecy was not fulfilled in the Roman period time. There was a group of people who were led by one particular guy who took everybody out into the desert wilderness of Egypt. And there they created a institutionalized structure. It was a monastery combo nunnery situation. They were giving up the worldly possessions and going out and living just without substance. And obviously they had to make food, but and also they were going to be celibate. And can you guess why it failed? Yeah, men and women cannot be celibate. You should have learned this from When Harry Met Sally, but it's rated R, and so you didn't watch it because you're a good Mormon boy, believing, or girl boy, and thus believed that the prophet Benson was telling you the truth, that R-rated movies, the idol god of R-rated movies, means you got to stay away and fear it, because you'll lose the spirit. And so you didn't watch the movie, in which Harry makes it very clear to Sally, no, men and women cannot be friends. Even though platonic is what the Betazoids believe in. It's not possible. Oh, you humans, you're not able to separate platonic and physical love. Neither is she, as she was jealous over Mommy flirting with Riker. Women have sex fantasies, men have sex fantasies. It's designed that way so that we actually have joy. You know, Adam fell that man might have joy. Because if you don't have those fantasy feelings, no children. The human race has gone extinct. And so everybody's screwed up because nobody's getting taught real, scientific sex ed. We all need to relax and watch porn. Since nobody else wants to explain it for anybody. So yes, Lucifer's plan. Which, yes, the nunneries and the monasteries, bad history there too. Especially in Philadelphia not too long ago, where it was exposed that there was little choir boy, altar boy sex trafficking among the priests. And not just Philadelphia, but in surrounding states as well. And Catholics don't understand that their church isn't true yet. You thought that they would have figured it out with the Spanish Inquisition. If not Constantine. Yeah, it's weird. Mormons believe that Joseph Smith is a prophet, seer, revelator, and translator. They don't make the connection that none of the prophets, seers, revelators from Brigham Young do not use translator. And they don't understand that why Brigham Young to Nelson have never had any prophecy, revelation, vision, let alone rendered any of our scriptures accurately. And can't make the connection. Why? Because Mormons know Joseph Smith actually prophesied. The white horse, even though it was from the Danites that I did the video the other week. Again. Mormons still believe it's prophecy of a future event to occur. But not from Brigham to Nelson. No prophecies. Mormons know and understand what prophecy and revelation is, but they don't make the connection that these prophets and this church they're in ain't got the gift. Which means they're not authorized. You're being fooled. And it's sad that you can't figure it out, because you're supposed to be looking for your Christ who does have the gifts. And instead you want them murdered and silenced. How dare you condescend? Only Jesus can condescend. And so, Alma and priest of Noah. Alma, being a priest of Noah, had no authority to be president of the church, had no authority for the Melchizedek priesthood, other than to baptize, to form a church. Hey, that was Brigham Young and his 12, or Thomas B. Marsh and his 12. Yeah. The 12 priests of King Noah were the 12. King Noah had no authority. He usurped the Jewish church, of the Nephites, Zoram, replacing the Jews, just like the Zoramites. You're supposed to be looking for these patterns in the Book of Mormon. These are the stories they're trying to tell you. Christianity is evil. There is no authority to lead the church according to the learning of the Jews. You have to have the key of Moses, not Peter. Blatantly obvious, and Mormons miss it. And so Mormons abuse when they lie about the church to investigators. Jasmine again. James and Jasmine were abused by the missionaries. That was her video yesterday, her comment. missionaries were mocking James and Jasmine, because that'll convince them to join the church and pay the money so that they can wear the underwear. Abuse people. Good job, Mormons. Threaten people to be Mormon. I'm sure that'll work, because it's worked so well for Constantine. Yeah, that's why Brigham Young did it. And so yeah, they're mocking James and Jasmine for actually studying. Really? Because they didn't pray and get the right feeling, they studied. And they're not studying anti-Mormon, anti-Christ corridors other than me. Right, Jasmine? You're not cheating on me, are you? Jasmine said she's going to the Joseph Smith Papers. She's reading the various editions of the Book of Mormon and the Doctrine and Covenants, making the comparisons, seeing when changes were being made away from Joseph Smith. I'm still waiting for you guys to send me the links. I found the 1920 of the Book of Mormon, but the original one of Oliver Cowdery, or Orson Pratt, was it? So, yeah, send them to me. Please. Please don't go on vacation for another 2 months, Jasmine. Please. I need. What about Bob? Yeah. What is that classical piece? It's Beethoven, right? They were doing that at conference before the first sessions on Saturday and Sunday, showing the temple pictures in that music video. But because classical music doesn't have lyrics, it's difficult to type into YouTube to find the song. And one more, because that's a project, the Brigham Young Doctrine and Covenants. Thanks to Paul, I now have the complete Brigham Young collection, and so I can now create Brigham Young's Christian Doctrine and Covenants. I also need to do the full Joseph Smith Doctrine and Covenants. So many projects. All right, so we got Samuel Lamanite. Since the latter days are over, it's a little bit late for this one. But we'll do it anyway, because you fulfilled it. Good job, Mormons. 3rd Nephi. Oh, yeah, this is the destruction period. 3 days of darkness, and everybody's getting destroyed. Cities are flooded and burned and covered over by earth. So, that we Samuel believed. No, that's murdering those who believed in Samuel. But yes, that's what we're in right now. They are threatening Armageddon if you do not believe, if you believe in the prophecy and revelations of the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. They forcing you to believe in Christianity. Anything not real does not exist. So, now I have to scroll through and, oh, here it is. Verse 8, very end, verse 20, or chapter 8, verse 25. There was heard a cry and a mourning, saying, "Oh, that we had repented before this great and terrible day, and had not killed and stoned Joseph Smith, and cast it," because I hope it's not the latter-day Christ that you kill and stone. He's supposed to live. You're supposed to get to Zion. Is everything utterly destroyed because you've murdered your Christ, Mormons? Oh my hell. Cast them out, then would our, let's see, wait a minute, and cast them out. Then would our mothers and our fair daughters and our children have been spared, and not have been buried up in the great city Moronihah. And thus were the howlings of the people great and terrible. 24 also. Oh, that we had repented before this great and terrible day, and then would our brethren have been spared, and they would not have been burned in the great city of Salt Lake. Zarahemla, the headquarters of the Great and Abominable Church, where Nephi is. There's a reason for the season. So, yeah. C'est la vie, Mormons. C'est la vie. Samuel Lamani prophesied of it. You don't believe. You're not keeping a record of his records, just in case the Great and Abominable Church murders him, or you murder him. Because notice how the Book of Mormon says that the enemy tries to keep destroying the records of the real history of the people and the real religious information. And what are you doing again? What is the church doing? And you can't make the connection. That's the sad reality, Mormons. Okay. Well, we get not even 100% of the papers done.